Hi guys, and today we're going to be looking at this new Hornby locomotive. This is the Great Western 61Xx, or Large Prairie. This is a retooled version, and yes, I know Dapple are doing a retooled version as well, but I thought I'd go with the Hornby one for the time being. This one is in the Great Western green with the writing on the tanks, very nice. So yeah, let's get into the video and see what it's all about, shall we? Here is some model information on the Great Western 6100 class. The Kitmaster company produced an underpowered polystyrene injection moulded kit for LOCO in the late 1960s too. Kitmaster sold it to their parent company, Rosebud Dolls, to Airfix, who transferred the moulding to their own factory. They reintroduced some of the former Kitmaster range, including this model. The tooling was later sold on to Dapple, who later have produced the model. Triang also produced a power model of the 6157 in TT scale. For some time now, Graham Farish have produced an N-gauge model. It is dated compared to some of the modern models, and it has driving wheels that are scaled for the 3100 class, but it is still a reasonable representation, and it's a good base to add some more detail. Dapple have introduced it into their new range in 2017 with all their new features, and Hornby have released a new tooling of it in 2019, and it's due at any point. Hornby have also done it since the late 90s, I believe. We'll start off with the detail pack. The detail pack has the brake rigging, which I wish they would apply. Also has the front coupling. Also has some piping for the back and the front of the LOCO, and some drain cocks as well. The gold things, the drain cocks. The model is all plastic. The chassis and the shell is plastic. It has a 5-pole screw-round motor. It is DCC ready. It can do second radius. It is 165 millimeters. It's a 262T. It's finished off in a Great Western green of 1930s with gold writing on the tanks and the bunker too. As we move on to the front of the locomotive, the first thing you notice is these support beams here. It's the first one for me. They look quite nice. They're attached to the boiler all the way down to the buffer beam. You also have sprung buffers, which seem to be metal and turned metal as well. You have the Great Western number on the buffer beam, which is 6110. We have a couple of lamp irons dotted around the place. We have 3 on the front here. We have 1 at the top. I think we might have another one over on the side over here. That is pretty nice. We have some mouldy stuff down here, which I'll get into later on. We also have a fine handrail going round the locomotive. We have some rivets as well, and not forgetting the step down here. And we also have the hole for the front coupling as well. And the smoke box dart is applied separately. As we move on to the side of the locomotive, you can see that support being a bit better around here now. You can see the toolbox and the mouldy stuff here. It looks all moulded, all one. Also, you can see the wheel configuration, which is a 262. This is a large prairie. You've got the Great Western on the tanks there in the gold lettering, which is wonderfully tamper printed, I believe. You can also see a little bit of the cab, not much. We have the number down here, which is not hatched, I don't believe. Like I said, the number is 6110. Some painted gold piping down here. We have some steps, which are larger than the ones at the side over here. We also have the filler caps for the water as well. You can also see the safety valves and whistles. As we move on to the other side of the locomotive, personally I can't see any difference, but I'm sure someone out there will tell me there is a difference. As we move on to the cab, This is not the best view in the world, but you can see most of it is painted detail in there. Pretty nice. You'll see handrails as well, some rivets, the code, the axle code, which is the D on here. You can also see the vents on top just, and you can also see the bit to stop the rain falling in as well. As we move on to the back of the locomotive, as you can see, you've got the number again on the back of the buffer beam, which is correct. We also have the sprung buffer, which have a hook and some piping as well, which we do have on the front. I forgot to mention that. We also have the coupling as well. We have some fine steps, some handrails either side. We have a thing I believe to stop the coal falling out. The coal is pretty nice. Not the best, but it's pretty nice. We have some lamp irons around here as well. And you can also see the vent on the chimney and the grates, I believe to stop the coal going into the cab through the windows. As we look from the top of the locomotive, we see that the vent does move. Also you can see the safety valves and whistles. You can also see some gold piping that I couldn't show you before as well. And the top of the tanks are black, which is correct. You also see the copper chimney a bit better as well. There's also some fine details there as well. You can also see some rivets on the running board as well. And the coal load is good. And finally, onto the underside of the locomotive. As you can see, it has 6 main driving wheels, which I believe are the ones that have the pickups. I think the rear pony truck maybe has pickups, I'm unsure at this point. You can also see the gold piping, the brake rigging as well, where it should go, the holders for it, and the screws there to get into the mechanism and the shell. So yeah, that's it on the tracks. Next up will be points test as usual, and second radius. Hornby say it can do second radius, but we'll find out. Not bad, just past the 9, before the 10. Not bad on DC. So yeah, it can do second radius. I think it's more the point in the way on mine, but it does do second radius, which is good to see. Slow speed next, and we'll find it a running friend. Slightly better than the points test. For some reason it doesn't like pico points. Such a lovely looking loco as well. So yeah guys, that's the end of the running session. Before I give you my opinion, I'll show you what it ran with. It had the J50 from Hornby with some random coaches on and Hornby truck. In the shed, I don't know if you saw them in the video, we have Mallard, a Hornby Mallard, a Hornby Princess Louise Maria, something like that. I'll get that name mixed up, and a Hatton's P-Class there, just to give it a good mixture. Before I get into my opinion, I just want to show you something that I missed off the review that I should have really put in. It's the gunk all over this here. Oh, a little bit far. It's all black stuff. It's the same on the other side. It's all black. I think it's possibly paint. It's better than the Rocket, but it's still an issue. Just be wary of that. Overall, my opinions on the LOCO. Yes, it's a very nice model. It took 2 years-ish to get here. But it's a nice model. I haven't had the old one, so I can't really comment on the old one that Hornby used to do. But if it's anything like the 62XX in Great Western Green with the Great Western tanks, they go for silly money for some reason. But saying that, the BR one does look pretty nice. This has got lots of detail. It's a great puller. It doesn't like my pico points, my freeway pico points. But any other points it can get over, just bear that in mind. Could just be mine. I hope not. Well, I hope it's not just mine. You know, it's could be my points need a clean, which they've been hoovered. Yeah, they're very nice model. I wonder if Hornby will do the county tanks, I believe they're called. These are a step up from the county tanks, so I believe. So yeah guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you liked it. Until next time guys, it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from these beauties. Bye.